Welcome back to ISEE Geometry. Today we'll be discussing graphing points on a coordinate plane. This lesson will cover graphing points, completing shapes on a plane, and transformations. This is our XY axis. You'll see that the X represents all of the points that are horizontal and the Y is vertical. So to graph the point 2, 3, our 2 is our point on the x-axis and our 3 is a point on the y-axis. It always goes x, comma, y, which is alphabetical to help you remember. So first we will find 2 on the x-axis. I like to draw a dotted line so that I can find where they intersect, which will be my point. So this is 2 on the x-axis. Now I'll find 3 on the y-axis and draw a dotted line until I find my point of intersection. Where the 2 and the 3 intersect, that's where this point is on the XY plane. Now let's find a new point, -2, 1. Can you find -2 on the x-axis? Good. Now I'll draw a dotted line with -2. Can you find 1 on the y-axis? Now I'll draw a dotted line there. My point of intersection is my point, -2, 1. You will also often be asked to complete a shape on the plane. For this one, we're supposed to complete a parallelogram. Can you picture where that last point might go to make it a parallelogram? It's okay if you don't have it exactly because the multiple choice answers will help you narrow it down. But you do need to be able to figure out an approximate location. So I'll put my point in the top right. See how this makes it a parallelogram? It can also help to connect the dots so that you can be sure. Now let's figure out the coordinates for that last point. I'll draw my dotted line to figure out where it hits the x-axis for my x-coordinate, and I'll draw my dotted line to figure out where it hits the y-axis for the y-coordinate. My coordinate for this point is 2, 3. Our last thing to know for this coordinate plane is our transformations. Transformations are just when you move a shape on a coordinate plane to another spot, and you'll just need to identify what each one is called. So this one, where we shift the triangle over but don't change anything about the triangle, is simply called a slide. For this one, we are rotating the triangle around the coordinate plane, so this one is called a rotation or turn. You can see how it's turned 90 degrees. Lastly, this one is reflected over the y-axis, as if there is a mirror there, so that is called a reflection. Pause the video and write these 3 transformations in your notebook. Let's try it with test questions. Rita is plotting a square on the coordinate system shown. Can you think of where the last vertices should go to make this a square? I like to start by connecting the dots that I have, so then it becomes clear where I need the last point to go. Now, I will draw a dot on that point and figure out what coordinates that point is at. Now I'll use my dotted lines to figure it out. It looks like this point is at x equals 0 on the x-axis. And then on the y-axis, it hits -3. So now I know my coordinate is x, y, so it's 0, -3, which is B in the answer choices. For this one, you need to decide what transformation was performed. Pause the video and try it now. For this one, we can see that the triangle was flipped over the y-axis. So that means it is a reflection. It is reflected over the y-axis, making the answer choice A. Sign up for a course at theiseeacademy.com to learn more and practice with test questions.